horse. Kaya and I today would like to talk to you about teaching your young horses to do more than just look forward to seeing you. There's an element to our relationship that needs to be friendly. I want her to think that when I show up, good things are going to happen. But I also need her to yield when I ask her to do things. She needs to yield to the halter. She needs to yield to my hands. She needs to yield to my energy, and she needs to yield to my suggestions. And I want her to learn early that doing so will feel good, right? That when she yields, there's lightness available to her. And when there's lightness in our conversation, then harmony is possible. And too often, we just push, pull, and drag our young horses around just to get a job done versus teaching them how to be light. And if you start soon, Kaya is, let's see, May, June, July, August. She's about 15, 16 months old, so just a yearling still. So she's still just a baby. I'm not going to ask her to do big, complicated things, but I do want her to know that lightness is a possibility and that lightness and being responsive feels good, okay? So a really common one is to just teach them to, yield to the halter, right? So that's pretty good. That's actually really quite light. We've been working on it, right? Can she yield backward and can she yield forward? And that the lightness feels best when we're moving. It doesn't only feel good when we stop moving, okay? So there was pressure on the halter when I asked her to go forward, but as soon as she got going, I released. I wanted her to still keep going, right? It wasn't a release to a stop. If I do that soon, at this point in her life, then not much pressure will be needed to teach her to do things, right? So even when I make this suggestion, can you go somewhere? I'm going to use enough pressure that it gets her to understand me right away. I'm not going to beg her, but also I don't want to scare her or make her defensive. That was really good. I'm not going to do a bunch of circles or big obstacles and things like that with her, of course, to protect the quality of her joints. But from having a horse who's 15 years old and who learned how to push, pull, and drag her humans around when she had a problem, I can tell you I'm so looking forward to developing a partnership with a horse right from the beginning where responsiveness is an expectation and the feeling of being responsive feels good to us both. I hope that gave you something to think about.